speak is Lourdes Fonseca from Hartford.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lourdes Fonseca, and I'm a Hartford resident since 1994. As a Hartford resident, I'm concerned that the department that we trust for our safety is not even safe to work. If safety is not a quality that we can find internally in the department, then what kind of safety we can expect for us, the community? When a female officer complains in writing about discrimination, sex harassment, and homophobia, and no one do anything about it, it's a concern. When co-workers cannot respect each other, what kind of respect we can expect for us, the community? When it takes almost a year to someone take some kind of an action, it's more concern. Why it takes so long to resolve an issue? Well, on behalf of the community, we demand to those who are in the position of power to take care of this matter to do so, to do their job, and take immediate action to condemn this kind of behavior. We cannot let one rotten apple ruin the whole, because no one has to take abuse. Thank you.
I want to invite City Councilwoman Claudine to come up and share some stories of Hartford residents that she's heard encountering the police.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claudine, Councilwoman Fox. I'm here. I would like to keep this as brief as possible because I believe our resident Lourdes really highlighted the issue and the heart of this issue. From my position as a councilwoman, specifically sitting on the Public Safety and Quality of Life Committee, we hear so many different stories of people's interactions with the Hartford Police Department, their process around submitting complaints, what that process looked like, and even myself, as before I became a councilwoman, way back in 2011, I have so many stories that I can recite of my process of engaging with Hartford Police Department and what it felt like to submit complaints and to be sent on a runaround and intimidated in the process of getting the information that I deserve. I do believe fundamentally that everyone deserves the opportunity to exist in their work environment regardless of who they are and how they show up in the world. And Officer Bayarda's story really highlights how intersectionality as a woman of color, as her identifying as a lesbian, as existing in this male-dominated profession, how all of those intersections can really come at a head. So, as Lourdes said, how do we expect a department that has so many internal issues, that has a complaint that had been kicked around for more than a year, and I know there are several other complaints that exist, how can we expect them to operate also in a way that reflects equity and recognition of the community that they're supposed to serve? Because remember, Hartford is 85 or 84% black and brown. And so if we're experiencing and seeing these issues within the department, how can we expect them to not reflect within our communities? So I do believe we have a couple of stories here from actual community members. Yes, about some interactions that they've had.
So my story entails sexual assault. So I want to give a warning for anyone in the room before speaking on it. 2 weeks ago, one of my very close loved ones was raped at her home in Hartford. Tuesday morning, we went to the police station to file the report of that week. Wednesday, the victim wrote the statement. Thursday, the rapist wrote his. Friday, we were called back into Hartford's police station, 253 High Street. The victim got called inside a room last Friday along with 2 people from HPD, Officer Joseph Cullen and Detective Small. Instead of asking questions, they discouraged her from continuing the case, and victim blamed her until she lost hope. What did these two men officers say? Police officer Cullen said, "We are all adults, we all have sex." He said, "You drank alcohol but not enough to make you passed out or unconscious or unable to remember. You could have ran away." He said there are 13 and 14-year-olds impregnating girls and to remember and running around bragging about it, insinuating that this happens all the time in Hartford and it's not their job to make them report it. He said friends spur on people to report it after when it's not rape. Detective Small said, "Attorney will make you seem like a lying bitch." He said, "You can go post it on Facebook. We are not an advertising agency." Detective Small said, "What is your end goal and what do you want from this? You're going to ruin someone's life by putting him in jail for 10 to 20 years. To sum up what actually happened in the room, the victim told me talking to these officers was worse than the actual rape because all they did was victim blame. So the week after I went to the station, decided to file a citizen's complaint. I asked if there's a video camera in the room that they investigated the victim in. They said no. And this outraged me because they basically said all of this without any sort of evidence. They basically emotionally abused her without any sort of evidence, really. They didn't have any body cameras on or anything in this room. They told me I could fill out the citizen's complaint form and return it to them in person in the station. And the day after, I came back with a filled out form to return it. Then the Sergeant Rogalski told me that I had to have the victim with me and come in with the victim. I went back to the victim's apartment in Hartford, and then another officer called me and said that he could come to my house and pick up the form, which is actually not allowed after I read the procedure. The officer also told me through the phone that I actually did not need to have the victim with me because people file complaints all the time via mail. The officer also told me I wouldn't be able to get a stamp with a copy since they would be coming to get it from me, so I decided not to follow through with any of that and give the form through the city hall. So overall, they made the process of not only complaining on another officer very, very difficult, but they also made the victim's life even harder by making them kind of relive through it, and also just even the whole process of making someone write a statement after they're traumatized. How are they supposed to recollect any of this information when they're still traumatized from the whole event? Thank you for being here.
So this story highlights just one of the many different instances as to why we need to continue to work on behalf of our constituents to figure out a way to increase accountability between the city and between its residents and between the Hartford Police Department. And I'm inviting Councilwoman Bermudez up to talk about one of the ways that we're trying to do this.
So for some time, our offices, several council members have come together to call for more transparency from the Hartford Police Department. And we have been trying to organize a series of community conversations. And at this moment, we would like to announce that we're going to have community conversations on drones, surveillance technology, and what all this means for calling more transparency from the Hartford Police. And there's going to be 4 different community conversations, one in the north end, one in the south end, one in downtown area, and as well as one in the Silent Hill in the west end. So the dates are Saturday, March 9th at CoLab from 12 to 2, Wednesday, March 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Faith Congregation Church, Thursday, March 21st at the YWCA from 6 to 8 p.m., and Tuesday, March 26th at the Hartford Public Library from 6 to 8 p.m. We feel very strongly about this important topic, and that's why we're here today standing in solidarity. And I just want to, again, turn to the folks and the stories that we've highlighted here today, because that's really what it's about.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Maldonado. I'm a citizen of the north end of Hartford. I'm also part of LGBTQ Not Safe for Women organization, and just want to make my statement. I have way too many things to say, but I have to get myself organized. You have to understand, first thing, especially public safety, who claims to have received crisis intervention training, you know all too well that depending on the trauma and the individual, some of the effects are everlasting. I'm working my statement, and as I write this, I'm anxious, I'm shaking, I'm short of breath, and just plain old in 100% discomfort, trying to stand here before you to ask public safety to live right. When I'm asking you to live right, I'm saying respect, integrity, gratitude, honesty, transparency. Now, while I don't have too much time to elaborate on each of those topics, I do want to comment on transparency. In the dictionary, it says allowing light to pass through so that anything behind it can be seen. That can also relate to crystal, very clear. Another is easy to perceive, detect, that the thing is obvious, it is explicit, it is just plain old Jane for anybody to understand. In regard to your motives, having thoughts, feelings, and motives that are easily perceived, meaning no joking around, meaning that your intentions are clear. When it relates to an organization as public safety, you are open to public scrutiny. So I want to by women and not taken lightly, because I'm working home from work on Franklin Avenue after midnight, I'm putting myself at risk, or because I live on Albany Ave, and for me to be out early on a Sunday morning could only mean one thing: I'm out there working the block. Don't assume anything. This is repeated harmful abuse that triggers a lot of us. You are all now smoking up the mirror, even with one of your own public safety, your own brethren, your own team member, your own, you can't even work together with your own women who has brought up a complaint. So what does that have to say for a civilian like myself, for the other women of Hartford, whose public safety organization, the only way that they are being transparent is by the mockery of our claims. And they are responsible for the lack of reporting of the women who don't report these claims because of fear of shame. So that's the only way that they are transparent. They're blocking reports being made, and they're mocking our claims. So cut it out, Hartford Police Department. I think there's gonna be a new sheriff in town, and the smoke is gonna clear up pretty soon. So thank you very much for your time. There's some cookies on the side if anybody helps yourself.
Thank you all for being with us today.
Please grab some cookies. They've got protein powder and no wheat flour. Enjoy.
No peanuts? Nope.
No peanuts. No peanuts.